Including a Doris Day song and letting me listen to Doris Day is a definite way to get me to like an episode of The Simpsons. But that being said, even without Que Sera Sera, there's something about Marrying is a really fascinating episode. I don't know if I love the direction it ultimately took, but I also have to say The Simpsons is pretty progressive. This was released in 2005. It's the 10th episode of the 16th season, directed by David Silverman and Nancy Kruse. And they decide to legalize same-sex marriage in Springfield. And this is a pretty big subject for them to tackle. If I'm not mistaken, the only state where it was legal at this point was Massachusetts, and it wasn't legal in the UK until I think 2014, 2015 in the rest of the states in America. And this is a good 10 years before that, and it took a big risk, and I think it really, really paid off. Homer becomes ordained, he starts to do these marriages, and then somebody comes out as gay. And at the moment, I won't say any more than that. But that's all I knew going into it. All I knew is that somebody comes out as gay, and I was thinking, who is it? I have a sneaky feeling it's this person, but it could be this person. What I will say is I wasn't right. And I will talk more about that in a moment with a spoiler warning because I have some thoughts, all positive thoughts, apart from, as I said, I'm not sure about the direction it ultimately took. There are a couple of, stereotypes in this and some language that's not great, but considering the whole episode is saying we support same-sex marriage, I think that's absolutely fine. There's this really brilliant bit where Marge takes on Reverend Lovejoy and challenges him to point out exactly where it says, gay people can't marry. And he just rings the bell over and over again. And, good on Marge. Good on Marge for stepping up. And I really enjoyed it. I thought it was such a powerful thing for the episode to do, and such an important stance for them to take, and risky as well. It could have turned a lot of people off of the show. I mean, maybe it did, I don't know, but it survived, double its length, so screw them if it did, I guess. I really enjoyed it, for the most part. So spoilers from now. I'm going to discuss who it was. First of all, this isn't really a spoiler, but the mention of Wile E. Coyote and Roadrunner at the beginning, loved it. But spoilers from now, I'll discuss who it was, and then the thing that I'm not 100% sure I cared about or enjoyed. So big spoilers from now. The person who comes out as gay is Patty. And yeah, it's not a tremendous surprise. She wasn't one of the people I'd considered. But at the same time, I think it works very well. And I hope they keep that up. Not that I'm saying I hope every time we see Patty it references her sexuality, because that would be forced and ludicrous. But I hope that, maybe at some point she might get married to somebody, or maybe she'll have a girlfriend, or, whatever. I hope it's just not a one-time thing. Oh, Patty's gay now, let's never mention it or feature it again. But feel free to tell me if they do, without spoilers, but feel free to say, yes, Amy, they bring it up again. Because I'm watching these and reviewing these in real time, I haven't seen any of the episodes that come after this, which is much to my delight, because I have a lot to discover. But the thing that the thing with Veronica is that I was really happy for Patty. And I thought, okay, this is great, but I don't know, when Marge saw the toilet seat was up, I thought there has to be something else. It can't be that Veronica is a man. And then it was revealed that Veronica was a man, and Veronica was posing as a woman to get into the the female golf tournament. I'm not entirely sure on the lingo, but it wasn't the best angle to take, and I think I don't want to say it overshadowed the great message they were giving about same-sex marriage, but I feel like it did kind of take away from it a little bit and gave a really awkward depiction of somebody who just became really instantly disliked by everybody. And I don't know, I don't believe it. It's hard to describe what I mean, but I feel like it was a bad decision, because I don't think for a second that they're making fun of transgender people and saying that people who, live as a sex that's not their assigned at birth are doing it to trick people. But people can potentially read into that. When they're not, they're just saying, here is a man who posed as the opposite sex so that they could try and get into this tournament. But I feel like they were treading on thin ice, and it just didn't work very well for me. And also, I was hoping for some happiness for Patty, and it just didn't happen. And then I was really confused about how I felt. But at the same time, when Patty was like, no, I love women, go, I was just like, yeah, good on you. Don't just fall into these lies anymore. So I don't know, I don't hate it. I don't think it was the worst decision they could have made. The worst decision would have been reversing the legalization of same-sex marriage, because then it would have suggested that it doesn't work and that they should never have done it, and that would be a terrible message. So yeah, definitely not the worst outcome. But for me, I don't know. I didn't love that part of it. But I can see that there would be arguments for it, but not for me. But either way, even that, that aside, I really enjoyed There's Something About Marrying. And when I started to hear Que Sera Sera, I just thought, you've made this so beautiful, because I am in love with Doris Day. Definitely a good episode. Definitely a risky episode, but I really think it paid off. I think they did generally a really good job with it.